I didn't start this. Okay, so it's stongon jokayadega. Okay, somebody asked a question the other day about this. Des. See, D-A-C-R, even, so in like manner. A suffix even also, like jindes, even you, mades, even that, does, no, that wouldn't be one. Does is I am. This and des is like jindes. How about you? Mades, mades is like even that. So that's how you use that des at the end. Okay, does. I am. That's me. Just talk about yourself. I am. Humbida, no fits, does. I am cooking. Humbi, does. I am eating. Ahof, does. I am sewing. Poco, akoban, does. I am playing ball. So see that does means I am, okay? Does is we are. Humbida, no fits, does. See, instead of saying I am cooking food, we can say we are cooking food. Humbida, no fits, does, we are cooking food. Poco, akoban, does, we are playing ball. Any questions on that? That's how this is used here. I know there was a question the other day about that. They are, doagis, they are now. That's not talking about we or I am. They are, you're talking about they, third person. Humbida no te doagis. Humbida no te doagis. See, they are, okay? So that's how that's used. Okay. Dunga. It is or it's. We've learned it as dos, but you can use that. Madunga. That's it. See? That is it. Shufridunga. It is a rabbit. Shokhadunga. Instead of saying shokhadosh, you can say shokhadunga. Any questions? Or you can say Boshi dogot. Okay, listen. Boshi dogot ifadunga. It's not a cat, it's a dog. See? This is how these are used. And I don't know who asked the other day and what it was. This is it right here. Okay. You can say, Chufi do got. Look here. Got can't be. Got can't be. Do got. If I dunga. Omat. If. Monomat. Even though. If it's true. Lakshya dogo no mat. If it's not a lie. What else can I say? If it's a car. Me don't know mat. Litkas. If it's a car, run. See? Hanka don't know mat. Litkas. If it's a monster, run. Okay. If it's a monster, that's how that momat is used. Moma. Okay. Moma. Momat. 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 Omat. Omat. Like omat. And that's kind of like if it is or if, you know, got or go. Can't be done. Me you got. Don't do that. Can't be, you can't do that. Me you got. Me you got. Go. I have some sentences with go on that next one. That's how come I'm going through this. Go just slipped my mind. How can I say? Go. Mungo. There's that go on there, but that got got we got. Therefore, God is tungon ataga. Remember, we had that God. Therefore, I'm okay. It's tungon ataga. See, omida to do something. Omida to be doing something. Not kumayat omida mijedos. When I think of something, I can be I'm doing something. That is hardly ever used, but it's there. Omida. And sometimes it can be used in different ways. Is it so? Why then? No moma. Moma. What was it moma? Is it true? Lakshida moma. Is it so? Why then? Momat, it is that is, it is done. Monomat, if that is it. Momat, you say momat. Let me think some more. I'm trying to think sentences here. Mijichi momat abiyahis. When that is done, we'll go. Mijichi no momat, we will go. Abiyahis. Moment, it is, yes. Moment. Moment is I think it can be used in different ways, like and to. Moment. Moment can be and to. So say Boshi moment. If I do moment, not magayat, amobohestos. Moment, not magayat, amobohestos. So if you listen to me, yes, it is. You got to listen to me. See, that's what that's saying. And some of these are kind of, they don't use them anymore. But somebody asked a question on that other one, the earlier ones we did. Momes, but though and although. Momes, mijigo. Momes is like but, though, or although. Momes, andogoshigodos. Though I'm not by myself, but I'm not by myself. Momes, andogoshigodos. Andogoshigodos means I'm not by myself. Momes, andogoshigodos. Like you say, just to meet because you don't do as in momes, andogoshigodos. I may be poor, but I'm not the only one. But I'm not the only one. See? Momiga. Wherefore? Therefore. More or less like therefore. Momiga. Hayon means this. Therefore, do it now. Okay? Not me just biga. Momiga. Ayubas. We done did our thing, so therefore, go. You can go. See? Mayman, there. That's like I said, Mayman. Over there. Way over there. I said, Mayman. Jogo Mayman, Legiduis. That house is over there. Mayment. That's like Mayment. That's just a derived from Mayman. Man, there or rather. Man, Legiduis. Hangit Mayman Lego. Mayment. Hangit man. Mayman over there. That person lives over there, man, but the other one lives over here. You can use it like that. Okay? Confusion? Good. I got one student in here with me. All right. Look here. And they use this a lot at ceremonial grounds. This is kind of like, they use a lot of these at the ceremonial grounds. This is used in like regular speaking right here. A lot of times, but right here, when you get here, when they make a speech at the ceremonial grounds, it's used morely there. And sometimes at church. And you don't hear these anymore. You know, in fact, I got a recording of my uncle speaking, and he's got a lot of these words in there. And it's it's different, you know. And you have to, and in their speech, they got a different way of speaking when they speak. So a lot of these are in there, okay? Look here, basic pronouns. Ja is used for feelings, family, and body parts, things that cannot be separated. This is just for you because you say, I am hungry. Jalois. I'm hungry. You can't now give somebody else your hunger, can you? So it belongs to you, personal. So you use ja. Jalois. I'm sleepy. I am sleepy. Chanuchkilis. Chanuchkilis. I am happy. Jafachkis. Jafachkis. Jajabakis. I am mad. Jahudushis. Every one of these is like personal that belongs to you. But remember, we got G too in some of these sentences. That is second person. Chilois, you are hungry. Chinochkilis, you are sleepy. Chifachkis, you are happy. Chitabakis, you are mad. Chihodoshis, you are tired. You know, we use this that you can't cross over to anybody else. Right here. Chachki, my mother. Jaboja, my grandfather. Chaboshi, my grandmother. Chichki. See, that starts with G. You're talking about second person's mother. Okay? You say Jishki, Nagit Hujifkadoa. What's your mother's name? And you can say Chachki Hujifka and name your mother. You're saying my mother's name. Chaboja Sigama Haduimats. That's my that used to be my grandfather. Chabushi. Sali Duimats. Sali was my grandmother. Chichki Nagit Hujifkadi. Chiboja Nagit Hujifkadi. See, you're asking a second person. Chibushi. Deduimadi. Who was your grandmother? See, you're doing this is personal. This is just for you and second person. Now, for third person, you use E. Ichki dedoa. Take this off for third person, the C off, and you'll say Ichki Nagit Hujifkadoa. Ibuja stedoa. Who is their grandfather? Who is her grandfather? Ibushi Nagit Hujifkadoa. Who's that? Who is that person's grandmother? You just have to use it's Ja, G, and E, and that's first, second, and third person. Okay? Okay? Okay, it says my head, Chaga. You can't give your head to anybody else, so it belongs to you. So you have to say Chaga. My hand, Changi. My heart, Chafigi. My stomach, Chanafki. My arm, Chashakpa. But when I'm talking about somebody else's, I said, Chiga Nukidi. Your head hurting? And I can say, Chaga Nukis. My head is hurting. Chiga Nukidi. Chingi. I can say Jungi, Noket says. But if I'm talking about your head, I say Chingi Noket. Did you hurt your head? Chafigi. Hifidos. I have a good heart. But I can say Chifigi. Hifidua. Is your heart good? But if I say somebody else, third person, I'm talking between you, me, and Jason here. I'll say, if he does, that person has a good heart. I'm talking about third person. Okay? Chifigi, he do. Is your heart good? And then if me and you were talking about another person, I'll say, ifigi, he do. I'm questioning. Does he have a good heart or does she have a good heart? Ifigi. Ifigi. So it's Ja, G, and E, and that's first, second, and third that you can't transfer. Okay, you can't give it away. Okay. Chinufki, your stomach. These are possessive. Inufki, no gidoes. Their stomach, his or her stomach hurt. Jashakpa, gachkidos. My arm is broken. Chishakpa, tunguri. Your arm okay? Ishakpa, no gidoes. He hurt his arm. He or she hurt their arm. See, it's just Jaji and E. Something they not transfer. Okay. Here. Here you go. Shahudoshit. Here. See, look here. I am tired. I am sleepy. There's no and in the Muskogee part because we don't have to. That tells the whole thing. In English, you would have to say, I'm tired and I'm sleepy. But in Muskogee, you would just have to say, I'm sleepy, I'm going to lay down. That 3 words takes care of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words in English. My mother is asleep. Jetski no jidos. Jetski no jidos. My mother is pretty. Jetski hithoshidos. Jetski hithoshidos. But if I said your mother is pretty, I say chichki hithoshidos. I'm talking to Jason. But if Jason's talking about somebody else's mother, we could say ichki hitoshi duis. Or we could say ichki hitoshi duis. Jaboja. Grandfather is old. But I can say Shibuja Ajuli duis. Your grandfather is old. And I can say Iboja Ajulidos. His or her grandpa is old. See, you just have to make, okay, Ja belongs to you. G, second person, possessive. E, third person, is when you're talking about somebody else. Any questions on this so far?
Your grandpa is Chiboja Julie Dewey's.
You can say Chiboja Ajulidos.
Your
Chaboja Ajulidos. You say my grandfather is old.
grandfather is.
Your grandfather, Chiboja Ajulidos.
I think you said Dewey's.
You can. Chiboja Ajuli Dewey's. That Dewey's saying he is old.
Towes.
Yes, Dewey's. And I can say Iboja Ajuli Dos, or I can say Iboja Ajuli Dewey's. He or she's grandpa is old. See, you can put it in different ways because remember when we go back to this, Dewey's the same thing as Dos. It's just used in a different way. My grandfather is a happy man. My grandfather is a happy man. And you know what? Right here, though, look at that. My grandfather is a happy man. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, but all I have to say is and this is all this saying is grandfather happy is. And where's the my? Right here. Ja, my. The Ja is my grandpa right here. And Afachki, Dos is happy. Happy is. See?
Mvhayv,
Yes,
after all this, I'm going all the way back to the, up to there under the feelings. Because on the, when it's when we own it, and then when it's the other person on you are mad, when I saw that, it looked like we're using both.
yeah. It does look like it. Let me see. Get the book. I hear.
My mother, my hair.
Ja buckies. Ja buckies. Jija buckies. You are mad. Jija buckies. I know, right?
Brenda,
Talking about, yeah.
I'm just listening to pronunciation class on Zoom.
Jija
No,
buckies.
I can listen to it in the truck.
Okay, so see, buckies is this, jabuckies. Right here. Here's jabuckies. So you're saying chichabuckies. It's just, this has got a sharper sound than this, because I'm saying jajabuckies. I'm mad, jaja. Here the I. But here is chichabuckies. That's what you're saying. Is that kind of explained? Because jabucky.
So the spelling, like over
little
when you
different
talk
on-
about I am mad, you use CA. And then when you talk about you are mad, you use the, not so much the A sound, but the sound.
Hey, I'm mad, I'll say jaja buckies. But if I say jija buckies, I'm talking about something else, but there's a more blunt sound. Because I'm saying to Jason here, jija buckies, hear it? But if I told him jaja buckies, there's a difference in how it's said. And
Okay.
good thing you pointed that out, because I never even thought about it till now. Okay.
Mvhayv. Well, above, you have Chinochkigis, but you said, I think when you were quoting it, you were saying Chinochkilis.
Okay, look here. Jahodosit, Janochgilis.
Okay, that's where it is. But then there's a Chinochkigis below that or somewhere.
It must be a typo. My mistake, guys. Scratch that word. So it's this right here. Janochgilis. Wakahanes. Okay, is this what you're talking about right here? And this one?
I'm not seeing it. Hijikos, Hayomot, Hijikos.
Okay.
Maybe down.
Let's see. That could be a typo.
Mvhayv, it's where
Yeah,
you're going from I to you.
Let me see where if I can find it. Right here?
No, maybe above.
It's from J to G when you were doing those.
I'm not seeing it there, but I know I saw it. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I saw that.
Can't find it. We'll look again. Okay, so it's if I say Chabuja Afachkidos. Cha takes care of my grandfather. Afachki is happy. Those. So when I say my grandfather here, this takes care of that. Chabuja. That's my grandfather because you can't transfer it. You got to use Cha. Okay, that takes care of it. My grandmother is old. Jabushi, Hoktalidos. See how that's written? It's just saying my grandma. This is saying exactly what this is. My grandpa, happy is. But it makes total sense in Muskogee, which it doesn't in English. My grandmother is saying, Jabushi Maktos, Maktos. My grandmother is saying. And you know, I heard a lot of that when, you know, my grandmother, she would be sitting in a chair or something and my mother would say, Chibushi, Nagin Maktos. Your grandmother's saying something, listen. Chimashitos, she's giving you advice. Listen, Mabuetas. And you know, they used to be those saying, they'd say, I'm Mabuetas, no what? See? I'm Mabuetas, no what? Yeah, I quit chat more, honey, goddess. And that was when we got into trouble or something. She'd say, if you had listened to me, you wouldn't be standing in it right now, standing in trouble. And I don't know how many times I heard that, but you know, that was advice. You know, my head hurts. Jaga nokis. My head is hot. Jaga heidos. And most of the time when they said chiga heis, listen, chiga heis. My mother would touch my head and she would say chiga heidos. Your head is hot. See, your head is hot. She couldn't say jaga heidos. She could if she was talking about her head, but if she was talking about my head, she would have said chiga. Getting across to you, Jason?
Let's see, question, Jay.
Okay.
Okay, we know what do is,
Mhm.
and you say do is.
Always.
Do is and do is, that's totally different.
Yeah, that's totally different things.
You say do is, as T-O.
W-I-S.
Okay, then you say do is, because the U is a ooh, like a double O.
Dois, dois,
Dois,
is we are.
like we said, well,
And but
ago,
dois is I am.
because a while ago we said equal to dois.
Yeah, you can say that.
Your sugar was old, but the dois, how would you spell dois?
Dois.
To me, it's T-U, but I
Yeah.
don't think it is.
It ain't, it's T-O, dois.
The O is two different ways of saying the O.
Yeah, and that's dialect.
Mm.
That's dialect. That's where dialect comes in, you know.
Dois.
Iboshi, okay, now. Listen to this now. I said, Jaboja, Jolie Dois.
Dois. Just the way you.
Yeah, just the way I said it, maybe. But listen. Iboshi. Hoktali Dois.
More no, like maybe
Jolie is for man. Hoktali is for woman.
maybe Muskogee has a locker dois, maybe so is a
I'm
Muskogee.
Hajalaka.
And they say dois,
Uh-huh.
maybe. But
Yeah, so he's that, y'all hear him, he's talking about my enunciation of some of these, and there's dialect, you know. So that's probably what he's hearing, but he said maybe it could be from the people from the west, Hajabalaka, or people from the east, Hashulsha. I'm west. So when they have east and west games, guess who I'm for?
those are.
Hajabalaka, because I'm Hajabalaka. West,
Oh,
we always get beat though. Jaga heidos, my head is hot. But if I touch Jason's and I said, Chiga heidos, your head is hot. But if me and him was sitting here and I touched Lahoma's forehead, I would say, Iga heidos. Iga heidos. See, talk about third person. Does that make sense?
Chichki has a locker door.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Jetski, and you know, talking about that, those are gonna be coming up here soon. You know, you're not supposed to call the boys' names out there when they're playing East and West. You can't root on a certain, you can't name them. You have to say Hashagalaka, or Hashosha. You can't name, I can't, like, if you're playing Jason, I can't say, come on, Jason, get the ball, get the ball. I can't do that, naming you. I have to say, Hajalatka.
The locker door.
Is he? So I can't name him. But I can just name the direction. You're not supposed to name that person. Did you know that?
Yeah, there was that. I don't know, we see, if I Kennedy, ball field, it's the main door.
I don't know, my dad might have been. You follow?
Right next door, Triple Blocko. You follow Canadian Triple Blocko, Timber ball field door. Next somewhere.
Let's see, you follow Canadian, there was. He's asking a question here.
Triple Blocko.
Okay, the Joe Hooker was right here, the ball post was this way.
Oh, no,
To the,
it's the man taking bugger.
yeah. I don't know,
Maybe it's.
there, I was too young when
Okay.
they never stood, you know what I'm saying? They didn't stand. So Bangladesh, she would do it, you followed it. And what I'm saying is, he said, which side did they stand? Shabbat she go maga, that means they never stood in an East and West game, and that's what we call it. They never stood in the game. So you can't name. I got in trouble because I was out there hollering for the boys, my friends that were out there, I was hollering for them, and my uncle said, Makot. Makot. Hear that? Makot. It's on that paper. Makot. She said, Hashosha, Hashalaka Magahansi. So it sounds funny, but me and my friends were out there going, Hashalaka. And if you go to East and West game, you would hear that, not names, but they'll say Hashalaka, or Hashosha. That's all you'll hear. You won't hear name. So we got in trouble for that, We got in trouble for a lot of things. Here, my tooth hurts. Janodi nokis. My teeth hurts. Janodi nokis. Or my tooth hurts. Jadofwa. Hodoshis. My eyes are tired. I had trouble with my eyes. I still having trouble with them. I gotta go back. They had to put a contact in one side of my eye. While my husband was in the hospital, I was having eye issues, and I told my husband, we're falling apart. We're getting old. She is used for second person. DE is usually at the end of a sentence when it's asking questions. Look here. I can say Chudofwa Horoshis. My eyes are tired. But I'll say Chidofwa Horoshigiri. Horoshigiri. You're that D in there. She does what does she do? Is your eyes turned? See, there's a question in her. She does what? What does she get? Now listen to that. What does she get? And my eyes get really bad because I'm in a computer all the time, but you look at it more from some of these papers. Chinaski. Okay, here we go. We're using this. Does your stomach hurt? Chinaski. Nope. Is your stomach hurting? You're talking about, I'm asking another person. Chinaski. Remember? Ja, mine, chi, yours. Chinaski no kitty. What's your name? Oh, here we go. Nagit. Chihojifkadi. Right here. Chihojifka. D. What is your clan? Nagit. Chimalegadi. Is your mother asleep? Chichki no jidi. What is your mother's name? Well, supposed to be grandmother. Chiboshi Nagit Hojifkadi. What is your grandfather's name? Chibuja Nagit Hojifkadi. See how I'm using that chi? And it's always second person. I'm asking somebody else. Chiganokidi. Does your head hurt? Chiga Haiti. Is your head hot? Chiboshi Nagin Magidi. And this is when they say, what would your grandmother say? That was another thing that we met up with. Was my grandmother was gone, but you know, the advice she gave us is that's what they were leading up to. If she saw you doing this, what would your grandmother say? Oh, my grandma had a lot to say now. When she scolded us, she never laid a hand on us. But when she talked to us in Muskogee, we felt so bad. We felt bad. Our feelings were hurt to the point like we didn't need a spanking anyway. So my mother, even though she was gone, she said, "Chiboshi nagin magidi." What would your grandmother say? Yeah, boy, Arthur chat. Going around like this, nagin chiboshi magidi. Chiboshi nagin magidi. What would your grandmother say to you? You doing what you're doing. So if we did something bad, that's what my mother used to say. Chiboshi nagin magidi. And she was reminding us what our grandmother had told us all along. She didn't have to spank us. All she would say, "Chiboshi nagin magidi," and when you thought back to it, that was it.
Okay, all these words coming in my head pertaining to this, not a chop,
Nagin makja.
what you say, what is it?
What did you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all these words are like
Yeah,
different ways you can say things.
different things you can say things. Nagin is what? Makja. What are you saying? Nagin makja, what did you say? Either way. You can even say nagin magidwa. What is he saying? You can put this in all different ways. And you know, so my mother, all she had to say was this, and you know, we remembered it. And but if we did something, and that also pertained to something we done good. She put it in nagin magidi. Or jisky.
Nagin,
I would be jisky. Jisky nagin magidi. What would your dad say? Because you know, I didn't have my dad, so she would say that jisky nagin magidi. What would he say? And you know, there's thoughts in your head like, to me, he would have been happy, or sometimes it could have been sad. Now, my grandmother could have been a scolding or what she told us before. And you know, our next class, we got one more class to go. Next week, we're going to have a class there. And because we got a post camp to go to, so we're going to extend this and take a week break, and we're going to come back. So I got different things going on like that. I got one rattlesnake. Who knows what rattlesnake is? Chitomiko.
Chiromiko.
Yeah. But what does his tail do?
Rattles.
Rattles. But
The sound for rattle.
but you know, my grandma used to say Chitomiko Haji. Haiji Dewey's. And Haiji mean like playing an instrument. Haiji Dewey. And she would also say Chimashi Hiduis. Chimashi he means he's giving you advice. Haji Haji no one. Chimashi hat widosh. She was saying when he's playing his tail, he's giving you advice. Chitomiko Haji Haji Duis. And it says he'll say Ashika Haji Dimashi Hiduis. Haji means like playing the instrument.
Yeah.
Plays his instrument and he gives you advice. Dimashi he means he's giving you advice. So what she was saying was he plays his tail, telling you better listen to me. Move away.
Okay. So he's using his tail to warn you.
Yeah, yeah, okay, what? You can say nugget for what did you say? Yeah, you can say that. Good job. Good job. So see, he's playing his tail like a musical instrument. And he'll say, that means
Maya,
uh-huh.
you know, I know the Choctaw Nation is known for respecting the rattlesnake.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what else about that particular, you know, their dress, even the ladies' tribal dress, they have the symbolism throughout. So, do you know anything about that, their culture, their particular culture, besides just respecting the rattlesnake? What do they do anything special with that?
You know, my grandma, she was Choctaw. I mean, half or quarter, whatever. She knew Choctaw. She never told us, but that's what she told us, that the rattlesnake plays his music and he's giving you advice, is what she used to tell us. And I'm like, you know, and it took me this long to find out what she was saying. Not this long, but I mean, you know, I found out what she was talking about, but she never really said anything. Now, my dad, like I said, he was an outdoorsman, and you know, he would go to these rattlesnake hunts. Now, he wasn't about to hunt them, but he would go down for their tail. When they got rid of the rattlesnake tails, he carried one on him all the time. How? Why? I wouldn't know if I would carry it, but he walked around with a rattlesnake tail in his pocket all the time. He always had a rattlesnake tail. I don't know what it was for, but he had a rattlesnake tail all the time in his pocket. He died. We kept the rattlesnake tail, and you know, I don't know whatever happened to it. I never really asked my mom, but it's probably put up somewhere. You know, put up somewhere that you know, see, when my mother died, I told there should have been a lot of things I asked, but I didn't ask her till I'm getting them now. I should have asked where it was, but yeah, he used to carry rattlesnakes tail around. I don't know why, you know. And you know, he used to go to different states and like fish and hunt. But when they had wherever this rattlesnake hunt was at, he would go and he'd carry a rattlesnake tail around in his pocket all the time. I wouldn't carry it, you know. I couldn't, but he did. And so I don't know any particular stories about rattlesnake, but that's one thing she told me was, you know, and I got those coming up, and y'all know what? I'm going to use different words too, like in hufgida. You don't hear that anymore. In hufgida, that's coming up in the next class. In hufgida is to hang out clothes. To hang out clothes, but you don't hear that because they're all electric dryers now, or gas dryers. You don't see people very often hanging out clothes. It's called, we got a name for a lot of things in hufgida. I got different words coming up for y'all, making sentences, and y'all need to learn these words. Y'all need to know that we had a lot of words in the Muskogee language, like in hufgida. I got words for the other ones. I was just typing them although I was going through them. I know that's one of them. That's the first ones I have. I'm going through and making sentences, and I'm putting them in literal translation. And I'm breaking them up. Where you can't pronounce them. I'm taking more time with this because I got a little more time to do it. So, any questions so far? Is this helping y'all? Are y'all learning anything from this? That's what I want to know, because I hate to for you not to learn it. I always guarantee my classes that you're going to learn some, you know. So, Jimmy, do we need to go back to some things? Do we need to slow down? Do we need to, good. That's good, because some of these words, some people don't realize that we got a lot of words that hasn't been heard before, hasn't been used before. And we need to learn these words and we need to learn how to use them. So I got sentences coming with like hanging out clothes, or I'm hanging out clothes.
That's a good one. Hey, Mvhayv, I will tell you this. Sometimes I have the honor and the privilege to read and some of your students or past students work. And I'm telling you, they can read and write, and I don't get to hear them speak it. Some of them I do, like the young people when they went to DC, and just rattling off the creek. I mean, the Muskogee language, and I was so proud.
I am too. Because like I said, if anything should happen to me, it goes with me, never to come back out. So I gotta leave this with somebody, and these old words, some of them don't say it. They don't know what it is, and that's why I'm using these words and giving it, how to use it, how to say it. Like inhofkida. What young person knows inhofkida? There isn't, because it's to hang out clothes. How many people hangs out clothes? The kids don't, they throw it in the dryer. But there's a word to hang out clothes on a clothesline.
Mvhayv. Nagini, Jimio, that you just said to.
Yeah, Jimio, you too. Like
You too. Oh, pero.
Okay. Anio, listen, Anio, me too. Jimio, you too. So if I say Louise and somebody will say Anio, me too. And they'll say, you did this, Jimio, Jimmy Stunces, and when they blame you, you say Jimio, you too, you did it too. I hear that a lot in my house. And the grandkids, they'll say, I didn't do it, you did too. And they'll say, you did it too. That's what that is, Jimio, see? Does that answer your question? Does that explain? Okay. So it's you too, you did it too. Any questions? Are you, like I said, we can go back, we can start over, we can do if you're, but I gotta know if you're learning something. I don't just, that's what my whole deal is. Nagin ugida hopolen hadam halalati magis iwadis. Okay, yeah, I will. I'll start slowing it down. In fact, like this Chiboshi. Nagin magidi. See? Chiboshi. Nagin magidi. And you got to put that tone in there because you're asking a question. Just like, what would you say? And that's how they said it with that tone. Chiboshi. Nagin magidi. And it could have been in anger. It could have been in a happy way, especially a lot of times it was anger, a lot of times it was anger when we were growing up. And now, and before she died and stuff, when she said that, it was more of an expression of like, what would your grandmother say? Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Hasiskika hamgalo fibiga. Boxing jihija gratis. Boxy. Hasiskika is sun measure. Hamgat. One. Boxing jihija gratis. Mado, guys. Mado, to get you best. I'm gonna say Mado. I'm gonna say thank you, and I'm leaving.
No.
And this will be up for you to look at later. Oh, I know. Jihija gratis.